Okay, greetings everyone. I got a day off and nothing better to do than make a commentary video about our Traitlines. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to cover every trait we have as an engineer. Some of them won't take a long time to talk about, but some of them will take a bit longer, and I will have to show how it works actually, because one of the problems I had when I started out playing the engineer was that a lot of the traits don't really explain themselves very well. So I'm going to explain it for the new players, so they won't have the same troubles as I had. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and let's give it a try. Okay, we are gonna start out with the explosives. The explosives trait line give you power and condition duration. It gives you 1% condition duration for each point in it, and it gives you 10 power for each point in it. As you can see, when I put points in it, they raise. Okay, the minor trait, the first one you get, is create a bomb when you dodge. I hate that one. It's annoying because the bomb doesn't hit for that much, and the problem with on dodge traits is that if you got confusion on you, you're going to take damage from the confusion when you dodge. So it can be rather annoying. Most of the time it won't be a problem, but it doesn't do that much damage either. I have a few builds where I run a full power build where they will crit for like 1500, but most of the time I'm just annoyed by it. But yeah, that's the first minor trait. If we put 10 points in it, we get to pick exit elixirs. That's when you throw your elixirs, they will curse damage where they land. And I can try to take it and show you how little damage it actually is doing, because it doesn't hurt for crap. 191, and I crit. So yeah, I never see anyone using this trait because it's quite bad. It is all your elixirs that will deal damage when you throw them, but personal, I think they need to buff that one. It's weak, but yeah. Sharpnel explosions have 15% chance of cursing bleeding. That's quite simple. All explosion skills will be able to curse bleeding when they hit. Explosion skills, I should maybe cover that, is the bomb skills, and it's the grenade kit skills, and it's the mine skill. All those count as explosives. I don't think maybe the mortar actually, it hits count for it. I'm not sure about that, but beside that, that's the explosive skills. Yeah, that's Sharple. Forceful explosions. Bombs and mines have a large explosion radius. I'm going to show how much larger it become. That's the mine without it, and I've used the fire field to show that's the normal radius. That's 120, because when you take the trait, it doesn't say how larger it actually becomes. But as you can see with it's about the double, I think. So about 240 I meant. The radius raise, so it's almost a must take when you use the bomb kit, because it actually makes it possible to hit stuff with the bombs. So it's awesome. The mine also gets a longer blast radius. You can't see it because it's only the explosion radius, so the trigger radius where they can walk, that's the white circle. When they walk into this, it explode. But the explosion circle is bigger, so it's about the double as well. So yeah, that's forceful explosions. Then we have get 5% damage bonus when endurance is not full. I don't really use that one, but that's mostly because the explosive trait line is filled with so many good added rank traits that I just can't see myself picking that one over like forceful explosions or some of the others, like incendiary powder. I don't know how to pronounce that, but It gives you a 33% chance to inflict burning for 2 seconds and critical hits, and it got an internal cooldown of 3 seconds. I love that one, it's quite powerful. I use it in most of my condition builds, and quite simple, strong, useful trait. Nothing bad to say about that one. In the beta, there was no internal cooldown on it, so it was just crazy. Exploit weakness, apply a 5-second cripple to foes you hit when they are below 25% health. A 5-second cooldown. The engineer don't need it. We have plenty of cripple and chill in to begin with, and we got great mobility, so I never used that one either because it's quite bad. We don't have trouble catching people when they are low, unless they're like dagger elementalists that use Ride the Lightning, and then this one won't help either. So yeah, that's the adept level. I think Sharple and Forceful Explosions and Incendiary Powder, they are 3 really good traits. The 3 others isn't that good. Okay, the next miner is Reverse Mines. Release a number of timed mines when your health reaches 25. I think it's like 5 mines that you release, and they suck as well. They don't do much damage. The trigger radius is very small, and most of the time they punish me more because they're just in the way. When I have dueled a Mesmer that used the Superior Rune of the Air, he ran over the mines on purpose because they did so little damage, so he could trigger a lightning blast that hit me when I dealt damage to him. So that was just silly. It's a bad minor trait as well. Actually, I think the 2 first minor traits is really sucky in the explosives, but I think that's mainly because the major traits is so much better. They're some of the best we have. The master, we get the Explosive Powder, improves damage from explosions by 10%. That's quite simple. It can be useful. That will cover things like the grenade barrage as well, so you can do some nasty damage with it. Shot Fuse, reduce recharge for bombs and grenades by 20%. That's good as well. I use it in some builds where I both run the bomb and grenade kit, and some people pick it even when they only have one of the kits. So yeah, that's a good one as well. Accelerated pack turrets, when they explode, when killed, they will explode and give damage, and they'll push back foes. It's one of the Traitlines I have played around a bit with, and I think when they buff the turrets, they're gonna be it's gonna be a useful trait in some builds when they buff them, because instructed PvP, the knockback can be quite useful when defending or trying to take the points, and if they're going to die anyway, why not pack some explosions into them. So yeah, it's a decent trait, but the turrets need fixing before it can see play. Enhanced Performance, gain 3 stacks of might for 15 seconds when you use a heal skill. This effect cannot trigger more than once every 10 seconds. It can be quite good. I see a lot of people, and I do it myself, when they're running a might stacking build with elixirs. I will cover that later. They pick this one as well because it's more might stacks. So yeah, it's a decent trade line, and you can abuse it a bit with the medkit, because when you swap to medkit, that counts as a heal. You can see I got the 3 might stacks. So every 10 seconds I can just swap it. That means I can have it up all the time. So yeah, that's a decent one as well. The Grandmaster minor trait is Steel Pack Powder, Explosion Curse Vulnerability for 5 seconds. It's not that good for the bomb kit, but the grenade kit it's awesome, because that means if you throw 2 grenades, as you do per standard, you will give them 2 stacks of vulnerability. And yeah, I can show that one as now. When you take the Grandmaster Grenadier, you will throw grenades 25% farther, and you throw an extra grenade with its grenade skill. So yeah, that means you will throw 3 grenades, and like Sharple, that will deal bleeding from each grenade, and vulnerability now will give 3 stacks of bleeding and 3 stacks of vulnerability. And you will, during the freeze grenade, you will give them like 8 seconds of chilled. So yeah, that's we're kind of spoiled as the engineers, because you'll see most engineers running the grenade kit will be like, you have to take grenadier. But the grenade kit is actually quite decent without grenadier. It just gains so much more power by taking grenadier that like everyone takes it. It's a super strong Grandmaster trait. And that's why the other Grandmaster trait, auto defense bomb dispenser, drop a smoke bomb when you're disabled, just suck. Because the idea is cool that when you get disabled you drop a smoke bomb, because that's where most people will nuke you. But it will only trigger once every 60 seconds, so that's way too long cooldown. But yeah, that's the explosive trait line. It's quite simple. I think it's one of the best trait lines actually. There's a lot of the major traits that are good, but the minor trait, the two first minor traits could use a bit of work, and there's a few of them that are bad. But I still think some of them are really good, and I often see myself put 10 or 20 points into it, and like almost always when I run a grenade kit, I take the grenadier trait, because it's just that good. So yeah, that's the explosive trait line. Okay, let's take a look at the firearms. When you put 1 point in it, you get 10 precision and you gain 10 condition damage. So that's quite good. Firearms cover our rifle, our pistol skills, and our flamethrower and elixir. Some of the elixir at least. It's a quite strong trait line as well actually. In special the adept level ones is actually quite good. But yeah, let's take a look at the adept minor. That's sharpshooter, 13% chance to cause bleeding for 3 seconds on critical hits without an internal cooldown. It's quite good. More bleeding is always nice, and it can be used quite well with the grenade kit, because you will often crit a lot on the flamethrower because it dishes out a lot of hits. So yeah, it's a good minor trait, I think. Let's take a look at the major adept ones. We got knee shot, cripple target for 5 seconds whenever you immobilize them. I don't use that one, and I don't see many use it either, because some of our either the immobilize lasts for like 3 or 4 seconds, so they won't be moving anyway, or it's like clue shot or clue bomb that will immobilize them and give them cripple. And as I said before, we got plenty of cripple, so that one ain't that good. We got sitting duck, immobilizing a foe applies 5 stacks of vulnerability for 8 seconds to them. That one is actually quite good if used right. I use it with the net turret in my condition damage builds when I duel, because then I got 4 different immobilizers I can throw in a row, so that's 20 stacks of vulnerability if you time it right, so that's a decent trait. Infused precision, 15% chance to gain swiftness for 5 seconds and critical hits, and it can't trigger more than once every 5 seconds. It's a decent one as well, but I don't see that many use it, because we got a better option for getting swiftness, but that's in a later trait. But it's still a decent, and I know a good engineer that run with it, because he couldn't find the point for our other option. But I will cover that one later, as I said. Rifle barrels improves rifle, pistol, harpoon gun, and elixir guns range. I think we should take a look at that one. I don't think I have my rifle on me. I don't. Anyway, right now my pistol rate is 900 on all its skills, and let's have a look. The elixir gun is 900 as well, and I think the rifle is 900 as well, actually. There we go. Harpoon gun, yes. So now the range on the explosive shot is all the pistol skills gets 1000 in range, and it get 1200 the what it's called, the elixir gun, and that's the same the rifle auto attack gets. So yeah. And you'll also gain 1200 range on the Elixir F, and I can like sure fumigate. Yeah, that one doesn't change, but the range you can throw out super elixir changes as well. So yeah, that's rifle barrels. It can be quite useful, mostly in instructed PvP and duels and like that, where the range really matters a lot. But it's a decent trade as well. Precise sights, 15% chance to curse vulnerability and critical hits. It's super brutal when you use the Grenadier grenade kit, because you can crit that much, or the flamethrower again. You can stack a silly amount of vulnerability, and I often see people, and I do it myself when doing dungeons and the stuff, just going full berserker items with the grenade kit and just as much crit as you can press, and then just stack vulnerability. You can keep like sometimes 20 stacks up yourself, and that's quite awesome actually. So it's a good trade as well that works very well with some of our kits. Hair trigger, that's my personal favorite, and I almost always take it. Rifle, pistol, and harpoon gun skills recharge 20% faster. Not much to say about that beside, well, that's nice. Most other classes, when they want shorter cooldown on their skills, they need to go into master major traits to pick that up, because that's where theirs is placed. So it's nice ours is at the adept. But yeah, that's the adept. And the next minor is target the weak. Increase critical hit chance against foes with less than 15% health. It's okay. More critical hit chance when they get low. That's useful most of the time. Quite simple as well. And let's have a look at the Master Major. We got Napalm Specialist that will burn your apply last 20% longer. Quite simple. I use it in some of my builds because it's nice with longer burning duration in some builds. Fire Forge, Trigger, Flamethrower, and Elixir gun skills recharge 20% faster. That's, again, as I said before, that often you will find shorter cooldown traits in the Master, and that's the same for us beside our rifle and pistol. So we're lucky with that one. I don't know actually why it is they always put the flamethrower and elixir gun into the same traits, though, because they don't actually do the same thing and they ain't used in the same builds necessary. So often it feels kind of forced to use both of them because that the traits support each other. It can be nice if you want a support damage build, but if you want pure support or pure damage, it's a bit annoying, because that you'll find some of the flamethrower traits in the support trees, and you'll find some of the elixir traits in the damage trees. So that's a problem. But yeah, it's still a good trade. Rifle mod improves damage for the rifle and harpoon gun by 10%. That's simple and it's okay. I wish that they would add the pistol to that one actually. That would be cool, and just call it, I don't know, barrel mod, whatever. Just so it gave more damage as well. But it's still a good trade. Go for the eyes. Critical hits with the rifle have a 15% chance to inflict blindness for 5 seconds. This effect cannot trigger more than once every 10 seconds. I like that one, but it's often hard for me to find the room for it in my rifle builds. But I play around with it sometimes because it can be hilarious to kite people with that one. Because that we can kite for so long, and when they get close they will have blindness up most of the time. So it's a decent one as well, but it don't see that much play because the other symbol is better. Target the maimed, 5% increased damage against bleeding foes. It's a good one because both our main weapons give bleeding. I messed up a bit at the flamethrower Juggernaut part, so I'm going to take that one in a new one. Juggernaut gives you 200 toughness while using a flamethrower, and you gain might for 15 seconds every 3 seconds, as long as you remain in the weapon kit. So that means you can get 5 stacks of might all the time. And if you like put 13 points in the alchemy tree for 13% longer boon duration, you can get 7 stacks. And if you start using like might stacking boons, might stacking runes or boon stacking runes, you can get even more. So many players use the flamethrower in with might stacking because it's good at it. But yeah, that's the flamethrower with the juggernaut. The last one is coated bullets, pistol shots pierce. That means that your auto attack explosive shot will pierce, and that poison dart volley will pierce because static shot already bounce, and blowtorch always, it's a cone attack. It actually doesn't count as a projectile, so it can't be reflected either, blowtorch. Some people use it, I don't use it. I don't really like it that much because I think the auto attack sucks. So I try to avoid using it, and poison dart volley is kind of random at longer range, so it's rarely I would ever hit 2 people with it. But I know some engineers are good at it with it, so it's still a useful trait that I wouldn't say you can't use. I just don't like it. I don't use it. But yeah, that's the firearm 3. And some people don't like it because the rifle and pistol is put together, and the pistol is a condition damage weapon, and the rifle is a power weapon, and they think it's a problem because you gain precision and condition damage, which is both is great for the pistol, but the precision ain't that good for... Sorry, the precision is good as well for the rifle, but the condition damage ain't. But I don't really think it's a problem, because more of the way I play the engineer, I always use kits, and so I can always use the condition damage, because like the rifle got bleeding in it, and when I crit I got bleeding, and I often put 10 points at least to get burning when I crit, and I often use the rifle with grenade kits, so the grenade kit benefit from the condition damage. I like the mix it them power and condition damage, so you won't see me complaining a lot about it, because I just haven't had problems with it. But I understand the complaint, because they want precision and power in one, and they want condition damage and condition duration in one. So yeah, I guess it's logical, but most other professions don't have it that way either. So yeah, I think firearms is great. The minor traits are all of them useful, and there is good major traits in all of them, but the last one in my opinion, unless you run a flamethrower. But some of the ones using pistols, like the coated bullets. So yeah, it's a decent tree. Inventions that will increase your toughness by 10 points for each point you put in it, and it will increase your healing by 10 points for each point you put in it. The minor trait, first one, is gain regeneration for 10 seconds when you attack while under 25% health. That's fine. It's a decent minor trait. I would prefer if I gained it at health, because then you had it's not that critical at that moment, but it's okay. We got the protective shield. Gain protection for 3 seconds when you're hit with a critical attack for 20 with a 20-second cooldown. I use it in some bunker builds because it's okay protection when you're critical hit. That's often where you feel vulnerable after that. So it's a decent, but I think the cooldown is a bit too long. I wouldn't mind they lowered it by like 5 seconds. Explosive descent. Release a barrage of grenades when you take falling damage. Take health falling damage. What to say about it? Every class got one of these where you will take health amount of falling damage and then do something silly. And I think one of ours is one of the more silly. It just grenades everywhere when you jump down. I guess it can be quite fun using it in World vs. World, jump down from a tower and deal some damage with it, but nah, I don't use it. Metal plating, reduce damage dealt to turrets by 13%. Yeah, simple and necessary most of the time if you want to try use the turrets, because they really need the damage reduction right now. Stabilized armor, you take 5% less damage when your endurance is full. My endurance is never full. I always use my dodges because there's always something you need to dodge, so I don't like it. This game ain't about static damage reduction, it's about avoiding the damage completely. So it's counterproductive to stand still and don't use your dodge to take less damage. Energized armor, 5% of your toughness is converted to power. That can be quite a lot of power actually sometimes if you run like a full set of knight or rapid armor and stuff like that. So it can be okay. Mostly I see it used in PvE builds, and I have seen a few bunker builds use it as well when they use the bomb kit. So it's a decent trait. And that's my favorite. Cloaking device, you become invincible. Sorry, not invincible. You gain stealth when immobilized. And it's super awesome. It's like it's only 2 seconds of stealth, I think it is. That's actually not true. It lasts until you're out of the immobilize. And sometimes with the culling problems in the game, it can last for like 3-4 seconds. So it's very useful in World vs. World, where you often will get random immobilized and that will give you random stealth. And it can be quite fun to use in duels as well versus people with a lot of immobilize. But most good players know when an engineer go stealth right after you threw an immobilize at them, they stand the same place still. But still, it can be useful. And it's a fun one. We got the automated medical response. All heal skills recharge when health reaches 25%. That one is awesome. It's super awesome. That's a free heal at low health. So yeah, that's really awesome. I'm actually not sure if I know once the super elixir actually reset as well with its cooldown. I'm going to test that by asking that guy to beat on me and tell him to kill me, just to see if the cooldown still reset on the super elixir as well. Just a moment. Come on, deal some damage, you wish. No, the cooldown super elixir don't reset anymore. Just your healing skill, but it's still it's a great one. So when your health drop, you'll be able to use a free heal. It's a good trait for a minor one. That's actually where the inventions really shine. It's the minor traits. It got some of the best minor traits there is. Master, we got the reinforced shield, gain 90 toughness while holding a shield, and shield skills recharge 20% faster. It's okay. I don't use it because, as I said, I always use kits, so I swap around too much to benefit from that toughness, and I don't use the shield that much because I'm more an aggressive player than I'm a defensive player. But it's still a good trait, and I know a lot of people use it. Power shoes, 25% faster movement speed in combat. It is good, but we got superior ways of having movement speed, so that one ain't really necessary. Also, it won't stack with swiftness, so don't bother trying that. Elite supplies, the supply crate has extra supplies, and the mortar has increased range, and X lasts longer. I'm just going to show what happens with the supply crate. It will gain an rifle turret now, and it will drop, I think, 3 or 4 med kits. So it's okay. I use it in a roaming build I have, where because in small scale it can be quite useful, but it's a decent trade. Auto tool installation. Turrets are self-repairing. Well, it's useful while leveling, because then your turrets won't die. But again, the turrets have too many design flaws, so the trade ain't really seeing any play because the turrets ain't seeing any play. So yeah. Performance enchantment. 10% of healing is given as bonus to power. That might seem a bit odd, but I'll explain why, and also why we have energized armor. That's because some bunker builds, when we have Grandmaster inventions, we have elixir infused bombs. Bomb explosions heal allies. So we now, every time, because that makes sense, right? Bombs healing and damaging people, but it's a fantasy game, so whatever. So when we drop the bombs, we will take, we'll heal our friends, and that's why, Jesus Christ, of course, it's a mesmer. So I need to turn into a more. I'm a bird. I'm a bird. I'm a bird. I'm a bird. Okay. Let's drop some bombs at him. So we will deal damage and heal it. The standard without any healing is, beside what I get from the inventions, is 176, as you can see. But in World vs World, where we can stack a lot of healing, it can get to almost 400. And on the same time, if you gain power equal to your healing power, you can stack a lot of healing power, but still dish out some decent damage actually. So it functions well. Rifle turret barrels. Turrets deal 15% more damage and have a longer attack range. Again, it's a good trade, but the turrets suck, so it don't see much play. The normal rifle range is 1000. That's quite long, and if you take the, it doesn't. Okay, it's a tooltip bug. I actually don't know how long the range is then, but I think it's like 200 more range. That would make sense. But yeah, most see the inventions tree as our weakest trait line, and I kinda agree with it, because a lot of the traits is about healing and supporting, which we are good at, and they are fine, but and protecting. It's about protecting yourself while having something to support your friends with. But there's also a lot of traits to the turrets, which means that as the turrets suck, these traits sucks as well. And also the adepts. I think the only good one, really good one, is like cloaking device, but it's a bit of the major traits is a bit weak, but on the other hand, the minor traits are really good. So yeah.